Now, we get to talk insanity. And there is something about evil that turns people into something awful and insane. And that is what this category is all about. And to tell you the truth, I can hardly believe what I'm seeing. But let's start off by talking about a country that has avoided the worst bits of complete insanity. Japan. And we saw this in an article on Zero Hedge titled, "Japan says transgender people must be sterilized for official recognition." Whoa, sounds harsh, but think this through. Japan shows us how not to be insane by demanding that people wishing to be identified by another gender, a gender that is different than the one that they were born with, if they wish to be identified as this other gender, they must actually go through with a complete surgery that removes the one gender and replaces it with the other. If you have a uterus and ovaries, they must be removed and replaced by a penis and testicles, and vice versa. That is remarkably sane. And their explanation is also, quote, "In its ruling, the court said that the law was intended to avoid confusion and abrupt change to society." Yukari Ishii, a researcher at Toyo University in Tokyo, says that whereas in America and Europe, long campaigns for gay rights paved the way for transgender people to call for more equitable treatment, Japan is further behind. Japanese society is patriarchal and retains strong gender stereotypes, she says, close quote. Here, let me clue you in on something. The reason why every healthy society has these strong gender stereotypes is because of something called, wait for it, reality. Then some insanity popped up in the UK and it got mocked. This is also from Zero Hedge. British MP mocked over GPS tracking national database of knife buyers' plan. There must be something in the water or the air that is causing British politicians to turn into morons. Is it the drugs or the cafeteria at lunchtime? Then we saw student insanity on France24.com, titled, "Students around the world skip class to demand action on climate." A whole generation of students has been brainwashed on the belief that the world is warming when the exact opposite is happening. Mush for brains. A very sad thing. Then the AP reports students globally protest warming, pleading for their future. Pleading for their future? Get a really warm coat and buy a cave. That is where your future lies. These poor mush-brained idiots, and they were taught to be mush-brained idiots, so they can't help themselves. I don't blame the students. I blame the teachers and the mush-for-brains parents. Then we went completely horrifying from the Telegraph. Devout Catholic who used wrong pronoun to describe transgender girl, meaning a guy that thinks he's a girl, to be interviewed by police. And by the way, I interjected who thinks he's a girl in that title. Oh hey, if you use the biologically correct pronoun when speaking to someone or writing to someone, you could go to jail in Britain. And yes, jail. This isn't just some friendly chat over tea and crumpets. Yay, British society is so free. Isn't democracy wonderful? Especially the British kind. Then on the College Fix, we have making jokes at Portland State gets you reported to its bias response team. Hey, tell the wrong joke and you could get fired. And it wasn't even a bad joke. Isn't America great? It's all crazy, guys. Then get ready to tear your hair out with The Guardian. U.S. judge halts hundreds of drilling projects in groundbreaking climate change ruling. For crying out loud. Climate change as a reason to stop drilling? I mean, we have 30 years of proof that climate change is a complete fiction. And now we have a moronic ruling by a moron judge to halt drilling for oil. For 30 years, they've been saying we have only 12 years left before we all die. And they have to keep moving the goalposts further out every year. But it's always in 12 years we're all going to die. And now that our climate is getting colder from the grand solar minimum, this is so far past insane that I can't stand it. And then I felt the need to find out if the OK, meaning sign, really was about white power. And I turned to Emojipedia to see their post. No, the OK hand emoji is not a symbol for white power. Morons continue to go ballistic over supposed white power hand signs. Fortunately, there are so few real white power nationalists that it's actually hard to find someone actually coming up with some kind of hand sign that signifies that they are a complete moron. And yes, nothing says stupid like white power, or black power, or any other color power. But since humanity is an almost eternal spring of moronism, we'll always get morons who think that this or that skin color should dominate the world. Okay, the irony is that the OK hand sign is also synonymous with the 666 hand sign. And I'm not sure which side I should be doing it, but notice how it looks like it could be like 3 6s. It's used by Satanists. Now that is something that we've seen before. Satanists are a different kind of moron, and I want those people, those morons, behind bars. In fact, basically we should just throw them all behind bars. Then we dug deeper into the insane when the College Fix gave us this post. Scholar makes moral case for letting people decide their own age. You know, I've decided that I'm 29. Forever. I'm wondering, is this kind of insanity contagious? It seems to be going around a lot. Then New Jersey showed us how insane they are, and I saw it on shtfplan.com, titled, New Jersey Governor Signs Rain Tax Bill. Residents can now be taxed when it rains on their property. To my fellow Americans in New Jersey, that will now have to pay a tax based on how much it rains. You have my sympathy over how insane your government is.